Previously on The Walking Dead.
And this is a more common style than you would think. There was something, I think it was an insurance company called the Woodmen of the world, and part of that policy was you would get a gravestone of your choice, depending on how much you pay, of course. I want to do a video on that because I've seen that a lot in the Charlotte area, and there's many different styles, but that one seems to be the more common style. But that's really cool.
In 1883, Joseph Root founded the Modern Woodmen of America. This fraternal organization was created to financially protect families of wage-producing members that passed away. After a disagreement in 1890, Joseph Root was ousted from the Modern Woodmen and founded Woodmen of the World, which is also a fraternal organization providing community services through a series of chapters known as lodges. Members of these lodges were offered life insurance policies to provide benefits to their families upon their death. The insurance policies included a dignified burial, complete with a gravestone. Gravestones were included for free as part of the life insurance policy, and eventually they were offered with a $100 rider option.
And we're coming up on an example of a standard Woodmen of the World gravestone. There's so many various styles. I'll try and take as many pictures as I can.
There were a few standard gravestone styles provided. The most popular was the log with cut tree limbs. All markers had the Woodmen of the World logo carved on the stone. The sawed-off limbs symbolizes a life cut short. The axe and tools symbolize workmanship. The dove and olive branch symbolizes peace. The gravestones were provided until about 1920, and then they were discontinued. But many policy owners and lodges arranged and paid to have these markers placed on their graves by themselves. Some of these grave markers get very creative and go beyond the standard tree limb stone provided by Woodmen. These markers are located throughout the U.S. and Canada, but are mainly found in the South and Western United States.
All right, so I'm standing in front of a Woodmen of the World regional memorial. This is about 6 to 8 feet high, carved from pink granite. It contains the names of people who do not have a final resting place. Woodmen of the World believe that every member should have a final resting place with a headstone. Let's look around the back. There is some verbiage about that. This memorial is erected in memory of deceased members of the Woodmen of the World whose individual resting places could not be marked. So again, they believed that every member should have a gravestone. On the bottom here, I'm probably going to butcher this, but this is Latin, dum tacet clamat, which means, though silent, he speaks. And you can see the names are listed with the camp number. I guess in the South especially, Woodmen of the World had like regional camps, and during burials, like, you know, everyone would come out and they would have a really formal dedication of their monuments. And now we're coming up to probably one of the most amazing Woodmen of the World monuments. This is the grave of Henry Severs. And this thing is just massive. This was carved, with the exception of the chimney, this was carved from one solid piece of granite. So obviously Henry Severs had a lot of money. He was an owner of several businesses, and actually the founder of Seversville, which is an area in western Charlotte. And he was killed in a train accident. Henry Severs and one other person were in the rear car of a passenger train when it was rear-ended by another train. It killed those two and injured 22. And he was brought back to Charlotte and buried here. And you can see Henry Severs, November 2nd, 1842. November 24th, 1915. I don't think you're going to find many, Woodmen gravestones like this. Obviously, I think Henry Severs had this custom made for himself. I don't think this was a normal, burial stone that was offered by Woodmen of the world. But this thing is just amazing. It's got to be at least 8 foot tall. It's really, like I said, I don't even know how they got this here. I mean, this thing must weigh just tons, and to get this here in 1915 must have been a task. And let's just go around. There's Henry Severs' wife. I believe that's a Confederate stone. John Severs. Edward Severs. Zula Severs. Quite a few. I don't know why that's placed so weird, but okay. Again, this is the back side. Tell you, when I drove up to this, it was just, I mean, it stands out. It's absolutely incredible. And this is the family plot. But of course, this is what everyone comes to see.